What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Broke Creatives Podcast. We are so excited to be with you guys.
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
I'm so excited. These last 3
Are
have
you
been
excited?
I'm
pretty excited. Honestly, these last 3 episodes,
they've been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've had one guest already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're ready for our next one.
Yeah, but we're not going to tell them who it is.
You gotta wait. All right, guys. So today
We can start with an unpopular opinion.
Ooh.
You know what? Okay. So I actually did all the research on this one, believe it or not. Anyways, but I actually think that it's pretty true. Everyone is afraid of success. Not everybody, but a lot of people are afraid of success, I feel like. They're not necessarily like, if you said, hey, do you want to be successful? Everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But
I mean, even if you ran a survey on it and you walked around the streets, let's just say,
I mean, everybody wants to have money and they want to have success. Like, nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'd rather, be poor and go through life struggling and all that.
Yeah.
Not everybody necessarily desires to be rich, like have, millions and millions of dollars, but they just desire, I feel like, to be safe and secure. Like, they desire the comfort and security of having success.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I actually was reading about it earlier. It says, the funny thing is everyone would say they want to experience abundance in their finances, but very few have it. Oh. Debt is normal in our culture. Living paycheck to paycheck is normal in our culture. And I think that's a lot of what people experience, especially when they're working, a 9-to-5 job. They go in, all they're doing is working for somebody with, even hours. Like, I can't remember the last time I was an hourly employee. It's been a minute. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
You're going to say everything that I say too?
Yeah. Are you going to say the same thing that I say?
We might. Anyways.
We might.
We do it all the time.
Anyways, we do it all the time.
Anyways. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, another thing it said on here is, if you don't believe you're a person who is worthy or capable of success, you'll never have it. I think that's probably the problem with most people that don't necessarily, or like they're afraid of success, or they have fear of success.
Right.
Is they're afraid of doing, like, they automatically think, oh, in order to be super successful or super rich, like, I have to do all of this work, which, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But they think that they aren't capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Or they don't know if they have the ability of doing it. And I think that's one thing that even with creatives and entrepreneurs in general, or even just regular, 9-to-5 business people, like, you can still be successful. You just are going to have to take some steps, because if you don't educate yourself on how to make more money, how to save, how to invest, how to spend your money well, it's literally just going to keep slipping through your hands over and over again. Yep. And it's going to be like a whole circle. You're just going to repeat the cycle.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I could even speak on that for myself, is you have to want it.
Yeah. Well, people say that they want it all day long, but they don't equip themselves to handle it.
So good. Say that one more time.
What did I say? Oh yeah. People say that they want success all the time, but they don't equip themselves with how to handle the success. So I think, a lot of the time.
Sorry, that was just like really good.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, but yeah, a lot of the times I think that people, like I was saying, they want to be in their comfort zone,
right?
But they don't know how to handle if they were to have more than that. And so they, like I was saying, investing, making money, how to spend it, how to budget, all of that stuff. Like, that's a whole thing that people need to know, because if you have the money, it's that's why most people that are like, they win the lottery, they're usually broke in a couple years after.
I mean, you can even read stories upon stories, and like anywhere you go, there's hundreds of stories of different people that won. I mean, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
We don't have to go down like a tangent on that, but that kind of, so question, Jarrett, what is really the different, I hear you saying freelance versus entrepreneur.
Well, it's like you are going to just tell everybody really the name difference of this episode, which is freelancers versus entrepreneurs.
So that's the, okay. That's the
hey,
title of the episode. There it is.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I was looking up some research and stuff. It says that U.S. Census data would have us believe that in 1977 was the highest point for entrepreneurship. There were 600,000 startup businesses launched that year. And then ever since then, the numbers have declined. So the last time that this research was done was in 2018. There was only 400,000 new businesses, like business startups, that were launched. it's not a decline in the American entrepreneurial spirit. It's a decline because of the rise of freelancing, which isn't a bad thing. Freelancing is not bad. Freelancing is actually, like, a lot of the times from what I've seen, it's an essential step in getting into entrepreneurship.
Right.
Because freelancing, I feel like, is a whole, it's like a training, essentially, is the way I look at it. Because, I mean, there's all kinds of different, mindsets that you have to be a freelancer. And then there's different mindsets you have to be an entrepreneur. Like a freelancer gives you instant gratification because you're working on the spot for that money. You're getting the money right away, and you just move on and go to the next job. Versus an entrepreneur, it takes a lot of work. You don't necessarily get paid right up front. You have to actually put in the work.
And take months of no pay and not knowing where it's going to come from.
Exactly. And it's like you're putting in the work, you're putting systems in place, all of that stuff. So there was this quote that I said earlier, I think, when we were talking about this, and I don't remember it now, but it was something along the lines of, when you're a freelancer, you work for people. When you're an entrepreneur, you have systems that work for you, or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it's true. It's a lot of...
Sorry, I'm quiet right now because I'm trying to remember it because it was really good.
Yeah, I think it was written down somewhere. I'm sure it'll just pop up on my note sheet on here at some point. But the decline, it's not the American entrepreneurial spirit, because there's people, like, it's still alive and well. There's people starting businesses, especially, I feel like the younger generation that we're in right now, a lot of people are like, how can I be a designer? Like, I think that's the one thing I hear. Everybody's like, oh, I'm a graphic designer. No, you are not. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, but you're not a graphic designer.
I mean, that's, man, a lot of people call themselves creatives.
Oh, here goes Sean on this whole tangent.
A lot of people call themselves creatives, and I mean, we can honestly say that not everyone that calls themselves a creative.
Yeah.
Is a creative.
I got that quote. When you're a freelancer, you work for systems. When you're an entrepreneur, you optimize systems to work for you.
Oh,
it's good. Good stuff right now. That's so horrible. Okay. Did you know that today that 36% of the American workforce is freelancers? 36%. That seems like not a lot, but it's really a lot. Like, out of...
I'm thinking.
It's more than a third.
Yeah.
That means that people, so that's what I'm saying, is like, people aren't stepping outside of the 9 to 5 work day and just hoping that something happens.
Yeah.
People are actually going and, like, trying to build a business. And, I even think back to ours, like, when we were figuring out what we wanted to talk about on this podcast, that was one of the things I brought up, is like, okay, let's talk about, like, how we started. So I know that for me, for example, like, the first time I took a step from a 9 to 5 job into freelancing, which ended up being there's a whole rabbit trail, and honestly, we could probably talk about it. But the first step that I took was in 2018, because I've been in the creative industry for forever.
Right.
But going in 2018, I'm pretty sure I left. It was like the spring. I left working on staff at the church, and I started freelancing that, like, right off the bat. And within the first, like, 4 weeks, I had 3 of those weeks was back-to-back work, like crazy. And then the 4th week, the people that I was working for, they actually bought us a trip to Cancun. And so we went to Cancun. That was fun.
Yeah.
But, and not all freelancing works that way. But I would say that when I started doing that, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I had a skill that I could use and I could make money off of it. But I didn't have a clue about how to really manage it, grow that into a system. And then even going into, so that was in spring of 2018, and then I got into the fall, and the fall when I started working for David and Tam, that was when we went on tour, which, funny enough, right after this podcast, because we're recording right after this, I'm leaving. I have to go get on an airplane in 30 minutes. I have to leave. But anyways, so yeah, I would say, like, right after that, I started working, and then I actually remember I filed for my first LLC while I was on the tour bus.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. It's still alive and well.
Still alive and well.
Still alive and well. So I did that, and that was, honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. I had zero clue. Mm-hmm. But I think that at that point, the craziest thing is I never would have thought I would have had employees working, like, me hiring employees. I hate saying working for me because I don't ever want to view them as underneath me. They're working with me, but I never thought that I would be paying employees, which is just crazy because it's like I went from 1099 contractors to now like W-2 employees, which is a whole nother ballgame.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. But I think that a lot of people though, when they're working and when they leave, they're in their 9-to-5 job, you're in your comfort zone. If you want to grow, you need to step out of that. And I think the first step would be freelancing. And so, I mean, there was this quote earlier. It says growth and comfort can't coexist. Because I think a lot of the times if you're growing, there's going to be growing pains. You're not going to be comfortable while there's growing pains. And I mean, but freelancing is really an essential step in the entrepreneurial journey. Because I mean, when you're a freelancer, you have to learn how to find clients. You have to talk to them. You have to get them to pay you. That's a whole fun one, is getting clients to pay you or pay on time, or, I mean, I learned all the things.
Yep.
Not that I know everything because I still have a ton to learn, but like I just had the habit of trusting people too much. And so I would be like, oh yeah, I don't need a service agreement contract to sign, which honestly, anyways, but I mean, I had no idea. But when I got into that, like you have to start figuring that stuff out and I mean, you have to develop the skills on how to be successful in your industry marketplace. And I think that's the struggle that a lot of people are scared of. They're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this because I don't know all of this. Well, I had no idea. And here we are.
But you were willing to take the first step.
Right. As long as you're willing to take that first step outside of your comfort zone, that's when growth's going to start.
I mean, even when you start asking questions. If you're so I would even say if you have anybody that is, I mean, Jarrett, we can kind of speak to this as well, is like being on staff at the church was super easy, super consistent. Everything stayed the same. Yeah. But then when you start surrounding yourself with these entrepreneurs and these freelancers that are being able to travel, being able to start their own business, their own production companies, their own ad agencies, there's a lot of things that we start to think ourselves in the sense of, what I'm doing now, is this where I want to be for the rest of my life? Yeah. And I know most people, probably 85% of people would say where they are sitting right now behind the desk is not where they want to be. Right. They want to start their own business. They want to start their own journey of everything. Yeah. Well,
and the truth is literally, just about anything can make money.
You're not wrong.
Just about anything can make money. I could go and make fake $100 bills and sell them and make money. I mean, I know one of our business partners, his son Josh's son Tucker. He is literally one of the most, and I know he's watching this for sure. So shout out Tucker. But I remember when I first met him, I'll never forget. He was like, yeah, I had sushi today and one of my friends wanted some sushi. I had the supply and he had the demand. So I tried to sell it to him and he bought it. And I was like, what is this kid? Like, what? It was the funny. And then I was telling him about, like, we needed to get some computers. He's like, well, how much interest are you willing to pay? And I was like, you are like 14. What are you doing? Like, what? Anyways, Tucker, he's awesome. He's my favorite. We'll have to have him on here sometime. I know he would love to be on here.
That would be so fun.
It would be so much fun.
That would be amazing. But it goes back to surrounding yourself with those types of people.
Oh, 100%. I've learned from Tucker and Maverick and like Sawyer, all of them. I've learned from them.
Yeah. And it goes back to, again, surrounding yourself with those people and understanding that it's just putting yourself in the right place at the right time. Yeah. So the right things can happen. Yeah.
And I think a lot of that, though, is you have to change your mindset about how you're working. I know that we'll get into this in a little bit, but there's growth mindset and fixed mindset. And I think a lot of, the fixed mindset, a lot of the people are like, oh, if I run into something or I have an obstacle, I'm just going to give up. Right. They don't expect anything to get any better.
They don't like to be challenged.
Right. They don't like to be challenged. They stick to what they know. They don't like anything new. They, feedback and criticism are personal attacks every single time. Or, I know so many people that love to have fixed mindsets, but growth mindsets.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah. But growth mindsets, it's like failure is an opportunity to grow. Like you have the ability to grow and get better and step outside of your comfort zone and all of that stuff.
Yep.
Challenges help you grow. You can learn to do anything you want. You just have to be willing to pay the price.
Right.
And I mean, one of these quotes that I've heard that I still love, even though, anyways, is you can't hit if you don't swing. And if you don't swing, you didn't try. So, I mean, that's a whole thing.
That's a whole thing.
Like liking to try new things. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Growth mindset versus fixed mindset is a whole conversation. But anyways, but like I said, you can make money with almost anything, and you just have to change the mindset. I mean, you have to start viewing your skills, and this is, I think, what shifted me in my head. And this is when I was able to start monetizing not only myself, but like bringing other people apart, is you have to be able to understand that your skills and experiences are like bankable. They're valuable resources that are worth paying for and worth people paying for.
Yep.
So when because I mean, and I know you're the same way. I used to be like, hey, I'll give you whatever for free. Like, I don't need to charge you. And I didn't make money. I would give everybody this insane deal. And somebody told me, I don't remember who it was, but they were like, you have, like, what you know is valuable and worth paying for. I think as soon as people understand what they know and their experiences they've had, because I mean, I've gone through a ton of experiences. I know you have, and like all of those things are worth paying for, because then that's the whole point, is they don't have to go through those experiences, because you were able to and understand how things work to get out of that experience. Not necessarily get out, to just go through it. Freelancing is like, it's a bridge, really, I think, with from going from a day job to an entrepreneurship is, you start on one side, you get the freelance, you go on the bridge. But I don't think, like, a lot of the times, if you want to grow, you can't stay on the freelance bridge.
That's good.
And a lot of people get stuck there. They get stuck with, okay, I'm going to keep doing my day-to-day thing. I'm going to, go and make that immediate money, but there's no recurring transactions, unless you have recurring business, which if that's the case, good for you. But you don't really have the control of what you get to work on all the time. It's, whatever job pops up, you get to go do it. You're exclusively providing one specific service or whatever you're paid for, that's what you're doing. Versus an entrepreneur, you get to focus on all of the things that run a business and have all the people and all the tools, all the resources. It takes a little bit more time to earn the income, but it's at the end of the day, you get to choose your hard, and I think that's one thing that I've even learned from Josh, is that you choose your hard. Either it's hard now and easy later, because you'll get to be comfortable, you'll get to have all that, you just have to grow now, or it's easy now and it's hard later. And that's been one of the things that I think will completely shift people's mindset.
Yeah. I mean, I know, we both know a lot of freelancers that took the step into entrepreneurship just by simply changing their mindset of knowing what's possible. And I mean, I'm going to look at my notes right here, but they focus on optimizing systems so that they can just sleep and make money. And that's really where you start to cross over the freelance bridge, is the moment where you can go to sleep and you start making money. That's really where everybody wants to be. And so if you're a freelancer right now, it's possible to change today, tomorrow, whenever you're ready. And honestly, the first step that I've always seen is marketing. You have to market what you're marketing. I think is that what Josh always says? It's, you have to market what you are marketing.
It's not about marketing of the thing. It's about marketing the thing that markets the thing.
And so being able to market yourself as a freelancer, you have the potential to go to multi-locations and get those employees and start making businesses, or making your business grow without even having to do anything. And so when you can start sending people out with your camera gear, with your computer, with whatever setup you may have, or wherever you may be, when you start sending people out to do your work for you and you're making money, that's not.
That's what I'm saying. That was a complete mindset shift for me, because
and it has to be.
First year that I was a freelancer, I worked for myself, and that was it. Like, I didn't, I would work for people, but they would contract me and stuff like that. But then I switched into having that first company, and did, like, I think the first year I did $180,000 in contract labor that I paid out.
Yep.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'd never done that before.
Yep.
I worked at the church making, $55,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever. It's crazy. So, I mean, I think the difference between, so one of the quotes that I found is the difference between entrepreneurship and freelancing comes down to time. Everything is time. And I know Josh is going to get into this when we have him on the show, but the key to success is collapsing time. If you can collapse time, you can blow everything up. It's going to be crazy. We'll talk about that later.
Collapsing time with excellence.
Right. And a sense of urgency. Anyways, the difference between entrepreneurship and freelancing comes down to time. Freelancers exchange time for money. Entrepreneurs depend on systems, automations, and eventually employees that work without their direct involvement to make money.
Yep.
And I think that's the part where, like, it kind of gets confusing. And that even goes back to the unpopular opinion that everyone's afraid of success. They're afraid of what it's going to look like to have to deal with all of the systems, automation, and employees.
Right.
And because they're so afraid of that, which if they had a clue, they would realize that they could hire somebody to manage all of that for
100%.
them. I mean, look what we're doing right now.
Yep.
We're managing it all. Yeah, it's not, necessarily the easiest thing, but it's like, cool, we're getting to the point where we're going to be able to take steps to have people do that.
Right.
I mean, we're already having conversations and ideas about second location, third location, fourth location.
Yep.
We can't be hands-on in Studio 1 while Studio 2, 3, and 4 are going.
Right.
That's just being an employee. That's not. And so I think that the key question is, if you as an entrepreneur or a person, as you as a person takes yourself out of the equation, does the business still work? If it does, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
100%.
1000%.
Freelancers can't take themselves out and still make money.
Yep.
And I think that's the pivotal point right there, that people, as soon as they get that and understand that and are able to define that difference right there, is when they become entrepreneurs and not freelancers anymore.
And I think that's where you have to be open as a creative. And as much as you want to hold your skills in and you want to be the only person that knows your skill. Yeah. That's kind of where I feel like a lot of creatives struggle is they don't want to share the secrets. They don't want to teach someone else because they're afraid that someone else is going to take their position. Yeah. And I know the conversations have always happened to where, like, people don't want to be, how do you say it? People don't want to be, like, obviously you don't want your position to get taken away.
Yeah. I remember I used to have that mentality all the time. They're like, oh, job security, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. You don't want job security. You want to grow yourself out of a job.
Exactly. And so I think that's I would like to do a part 2 of this, Jarrett, because I would like to go through each part on understanding, like, what are the steps to take to get over that bridge from freelance to entrepreneurship. Yeah. And so I know we're sharing a little bit of details on what this looks like and freelance versus entrepreneur, but what are the steps that get you there? Yeah. And I feel like one of the steps that gets you there is teaching people and being willing to teach people to the point where they can replace you. Yeah. And
I think it even goes back to some of the stuff that we talked about in episode 2 is collaboration is not a threat. Right. And I think that's right. It's like we're having a themed podcast. But anyways, everything is not a threat to you when you're thinking like an entrepreneur. When you're thinking like a freelancer, sure, people are threatened all the time. They're like, oh, this person's better than me. I'm not going to be able to compete with that. But it's like, as soon as you realize that collaborating with somebody is not a threat, is when you're going to grow as an entrepreneur. Your business is going to grow. You're going to be able to scale. You're going to be able to hire the right people. I mean, how long did we talk about hiring our dream team? And look, here we are with our dream team. Literally everybody that works here at the studio with us is on our dream team. Like, we talked about this for years. And on top of that, we got to add 2 cool families to be business partners and all of their little kiddos that run around like crazy, but they're so much fun. I mean, they're all great. So, but I mean, it's takes those steps. And I think, we should do a part 2. I really think we could dive deep into the steps to cross the bridge from freelancer to entrepreneur. Yep. And if we can really nail that down, I think that's going to be, the catapult that helps people shoot into entrepreneurship. Yep. I mean,
And-
I can say for me personally, I know I keep cutting you off, but I can say
it's okay.
for me personally that jumping into entrepreneurship, because this isn't my first rodeo. I think this is probably a little bit more newer for you, but this is, I mean, even managing people and like contractors and all, like it's not an easy thing. So I had an idea and then I came into, and it's like my brain just gets blown up every time we have meetings, like business meetings and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, what in the heck? There's a whole new way of doing things. But I mean, it's about, having a good work culture, like having, the whole finding the work-life balance. Well, no, but it's like when you're an entrepreneur, work-life balance looks different than when you're a 9-to-5 day job employee. It's not like you automatically flip a switch and your capacity gets better. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to want to grow, which means you have to increase your capacity.
Right.
You'd have an option but to increase your capacity.
And another step to get there is to teach and to coach and to share the vision.
Yeah. I mean,
on what the business really is.
A lot of things with that though are like also realizing that people are watching you.
Yeah.
Because you can be
literally
coaching, teaching, everything, but if you aren't doing it yourself,
everybody is watching you.
It's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Man, we'll just
I know.
keep going on.
I just want to I mean, literally everybody is watching you.
Yeah.
I mean, we even had a client come into the studio and do a video shoot.
Yeah.
Or a platinum day. One of the packages that we sell. And they brought their son to be a part of this platinum day.
Yeah.
And it was just a simple conversation of, hey, what do you want to do for, like, what are your plans to do in the future during school? Oh, production, cameras. Like, there was no mention of wanting to do creative work.
Yeah.
Like nothing. And it took a simple handing him the comm and being a part of the process.
Yeah.
And being a part of the vision and teaching him what we do here at the studio. What does a studio production day look like? Just small little elements of what it looks like, and teaching and growing and sharing the vision. And the next thing that we know is the client that actually joined us here at the studio, she took a picture from afar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just hit me a little bit. But our client took a picture from afar across the pond, and this is probably the shyest kid I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
Shyest kid you'll ever meet. But our client took this picture of him across the pond, and he's standing not behind the camera, not taking pictures of the pond and different things, but he's standing in front of the iPad looking at a teleprompter with a wireless microphone on and recording a video of himself for
talking in front of the camera.
Talking
he got
in front of the camera.
Wireless microphone. He got all of it.
The teleprompter on the iPad. I mean, it doesn't matter. It always goes back. This is a whole nother episode, but it doesn't matter what gear you have. It doesn't matter how cool you look.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big your camera rig may be. All it takes is the heart and the commitment to make something happen.
Yeah.
And he saw the commitment, he saw the heart, he saw the vision, and he saw how to do it here at the studio. And it's because it takes that to grow the vision of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if that's something that you can take for your own business, or even just being a freelancer wanting to get across that bridge, that's really the first step, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is being willing to coach and teach everything. Welcome to the Broke Creative Podcast to help people grow.
Listen, here we are. Well,
wow.
That was part one.
Yes.
Definitely
I definitely think we should do a part two.
Yeah.
And we want to help you guys grow, no matter what season you're in, no matter where you are currently sitting watching this podcast. Jarrett and I want to help you grow.
Yeah.
And that's really where our hearts are in this podcast.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, even reach out to us. So I know I think
honestly,
that all of our social media is all over, but I mean, you can go onto the website and all of our social media is on there. YouTube channel, like literally just message us. We'd love to hear from you, hear your feedback, hear your thoughts. I know that there's so many people that are like, hey, I want to be a guest on the show. Shoot us over a message. Like, let's do it.
Well, we do also have a place on the website to where,
there you go.
We have a place on the website to where you can go. And if you feel like your story can impact so many more creatives, then you can just go on to brokecreatives.com and apply to be a guest and just share your story with us. I know we're working on a couple different pages on the website so that you guys can be in the game with us, learning, like working with different creatives around the world.
Also, would you wear merch if there was merch for broke creatives? I would.
You know, winter is coming, and I keep mentioning this beanie with like a patch.
I want a
front.
jacket.
I want a jacket. What if
Like
they
a
were
bomber jacket.
What if they were like Lulu jackets?
He loves Lulu. So do I. I mean, I am wearing a Lulu vest, but
Hi, I'm Jarrett, and I'm wearing a Lulu, man.
I don't like him. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, but anyways, that's part one. We're definitely gonna have to.
We
finish
just had
this
a
conversation.
Sean and Jarrett moment right there,
Yeah.
live on the podcast.
Everyone gets to see it. This is what it's like when we work together every single day. But it's so much fun.
Yeah, it can be difficult working with your buddy, your brother.
Yeah, it really can. It 100% can.
Yeah,
But it has its benefits. It definitely like evens itself out.
yeah,
Because it's great. Because like if we have to have hard conversations, we can have hard conversations.
Yep.
And then we'll just.
and we may not talk for a couple of days, but it's
It's not
completely
even a
okay.
couple days. It's like maybe
It's like
an
a week.
hour or two.
But yeah, so
I don't ever let it go longer than like an hour or two.
before we get on another rabbit trail, we're gonna have a part 2 of this. So we
Yeah.
want you guys to stay connected. Best way to stay connected is through literally anywhere you can watch a podcast. We're on.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, social media. Social media. Let's blow up Instagram. Let's blow up Instagram and the YouTube. So if you know any free entrepreneurs,
You're not an entrepreneur if you're free. I promise.
freelancers, entrepreneurs, business owners, small business, massive business companies, friends, family, whatever you may be, and you just wanted that push and that nudge in your week.
Yeah.
Come join us on the Broke Creatives podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's all I have. Be sure to click the bell on Instagram. Keep up with us. Click the bell on YouTube. Let us.
Bell's on YouTube, yeah. Not Instagram. There's no bell. But there is a save button.
No, there's a bell for notifications on every single profile. I'm pretty sure.
You're probably right, Mr. Influencer.
I think so.
He's not an influencer. It's okay.
It's okay. I'll post more.
We'll pray for him. You heard it. You heard it here first, guys. He just said, I'll post more. He doesn't ever post, ever. Why have we gone on so long? We're literally just rambling.
It's okay.
It's fun.
okay.
People are seeing
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and land the plane. Well, technically, Jarrett's taking off.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking it. You know, my flight's been delayed already once. This is going to be great.
Doo-doo.
Anyways. Oh, man.
All right, let's
hey,
do this. So thank you guys for joining us on the
Yep.
Broke Creatives podcast. Audio, thank you for joining us. YouTube, honestly, the
You
people,
should if you're
honestly,
on audio
if you're on
only,
audio,
you should
they need to
level up and go to YouTube.
They literally need to level up and go to YouTube.
But you know, we appreciate the audio podcast downloaders.
We do. Can we give them a round of applause? I don't even know.
Nope.
The sound
I think
effects.
there's a button.
Yeah, there is.
No,
There-
it didn't work. Anyways,
No?
but thank you so much. We
Appreciate. Stop.
he's too much. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Follow us on everything.
Yeah, follow
And
us.
next Monday, round 2.
Thank you guys.
Talk to you later.
We'll see you soon.